Wow, another good flying day. Anyway, I've flown and reviewed a lot of small whoops over the years, and they're always good fun. They're light, they're safe, and you can fly them pretty much anywhere. But let's be honest, most of them feel very similar these days. Good, but similar. They've all got their own little quirks, but nothing massively different. And then something like this comes along. When Oxbot sent me this Lumo18, I expected, more of the same. But this genuinely surprised me. This is easily the most fun whoop I've flown, and quite possibly the best one yet. Let's take a closer look. Hello, and welcome to the Whirly Bloke channel. Now, this isn't a powerful quad, and it's not trying to be. What it is smooth, predictable, and really easy to fly well. And that makes a big difference. A lot of small ducted whoops can feel twitchy, unstable, or, just a bit messy in the air. And this doesn't. It feels controlled, almost damped, which makes it really well suited to cruising, exploring, and just enjoying the flight. Now, I was using a GMB 450 mAh LiPo, and I was getting 3 to 4 minutes. But I tried some 550 mAh packs, which gets you around 5 minutes cruising, maybe 4 if you push it harder. And that's pretty solid for something this size. And I'm sure with very conservative flying, you could probably get longer. Now, cruising around like this is where the Lumo18 is at its best. Flowing lines, moving through trees, open spaces, not rushing, just letting it glide around, and it's genuinely enjoyable to fly like this. And this is running the DJI O4 light system with a wide angle adapter, and it actually works really well. That 148 degree field of view over the standard 117 degrees addresses all those complaints about the limited field of view on the O4 Lite. Now, it's still a small ducted quad, so in light winds like today, it's fine, but in strong winds, it's not ideal. This is definitely more of a calm conditions cruiser. Now, if you push it a bit harder with some acro, yes, you can freestyle it. There are, of course, some limitations. On punch outs, you will notice a bit of prop wind up, and on dives, you can get some yaw washout, but that's pretty typical for ducted whoops. In practice, that means it's fine for light freestyle, flying moves and proximity. But if you try aggressive acro, hard reverse turns or big power loops, you'll start to feel those limits. So this is an 85mm frame that weighs just under 70 grams or around 100 grams with the battery. And the motors, well, they are 1103 12,000 kV with these Gemfan 45mm tri-blade props. And the flight stack buried in here is an F435 with a 12 amp 4-in-1 ESC that you can run on 2 to 3S LiPos. And also buried down in here, just under there, is a 2.4 gig ELRS receiver. Now, you can get this without an O4 VTX or with the standard O4 Lite, but this is the O4 ultra wide version. A nice feature on here are the battery clips. You can just slide a little 2S LiPo in there and it's a nice tight fit, but if you want something bigger, basically you can't get that out, it's so tight. You can just cut these clips off, and there's slots under there to use a battery strap. Now it all seems to be injection molded and survived a few crashes, so it's pretty durable. It's a very nice clean layout, very solid construction, and nothing feels cheap. And this O4 PCB and camera are all soft mounted. So if you can see that, you can see the board and the camera moving. And another nice bonus, well, there's a proper buzzer in the back there, very neatly mounted, and it's pretty loud. There's some very nice LED rings built into the frame here, which are fun, and they change colours and patterns depending on what you're doing. So let's see if I can demonstrate that to you. I need to turn my transmitter on.
Welcome to HTX. Throttle warning. Angle mode.
Right, let's plug this in. And there we go. And red means it's ready to fly. I think, well, sorry, red means it's powered on. Green means it's ready to fly, and it's got a connection to my receiver. So if I arm this, there we go, we're ready to go. All very nice. Fantastic. So it gives a bit of personality. It's not essential. Oh, shush. Turn that off. Yeah, so it's not really essential, but it's a very nice touch. The price on this is around $260, which is £190 in the UK, and that's actually very competitive, especially considering how well it performs. But the prices start at just under £100 if you supply your own O4 air unit. Just a quick look at what else you get. Comes in this fairly standard looking box, and there's a whole load of stuff in here. They do supply a battery strap if you want to use a bigger battery, and that can slide under there, which is a nice little feature if you want to put something bigger in there. You get a crosshead screwdriver for sorting out your motors. That's the different 3D print for the standard O4 camera, not the ultra wide. And you get some prop removal tools and little tweezers. That's where you connect the USB, and fairly standard on these, you just plug this converter into that little JST that's on the board there. Just saves a bit of weight. And there's a whole bunch of 3D printed bits to change the angle. I assume they're just in case you break that. And then some mounting screws and all the usual range of stickers if you really want to make this look a bit custom. Right, so let's have a look and see what the tune is looking like and how Oxbot have set this up. So here we got the ports. Well, we've got the receiver on UART5, and we've got the OSD on UART3. Configuration, anything unusual here? This all looks good. I like the fact they've turned air mode off, because I like to turn it on when I want it on, so I don't bounce all over the place on landing. Power and battery, well, I haven't looked at that. Failsafe is set to drop, which is fairly normal. Let's have a look at the PID tuning. This is the area that I'm interested in. So they've done this tune by just dialing the numbers in, not using the sliders, because they're just so far out of whack the sliders can't keep up. Anyway, roll and pitch IDs, well, they're moderate, sort of well balanced. These aren't aggressive at all, and the pitch is slightly higher than the roll, but that's not unusual. The I gains, well, they're just set for stability and hold, and the D gains are again moderate, and notice there's no D on yaw. So overall these are just set to be safe and stable and that sort of thing. The feed forward values, again, they're pretty moderate, and that just keeps it predictable and not too twitchy. So let's have a look at the filtering. It's quite heavily filtered, to be honest. Dynamic notch filtering, 3 notches. Well, that, you know, that's just for noise control. D-term filtering is on the safe side. So it's fairly simplified, but you can see that what this is doing is prioritizing smoothness and motor safety over overall sharpness. So we look at the rates, and I think these might be stock rates actually. But what I've done is profile the throttle, and this does make the biggest difference in my opinion. I did a quick test and checked that the flight forward throttle position is about 27, 28, 30%, something like that. You can see that's where I've set my midpoint. Well, you see I've set it for 27, and then I've given it 77 throttle expo, and that seems to work quite nicely. So look what else we got. Receiver, well, it's all fairly normal. Modes, these were all set up as standard, and all these modes were already added. And you notice down here LED low. So what that does, if you assign it to a channel, then it means that you can just turn off the LEDs if you want. You don't want those flashing about all over the place. And motors, yeah, as we said, D-shot is turned on. OSD, well, I've left this as standard, and you'll see that in the DVR footage. Let's strip, well, nothing set up on there. So that's about it, all very good. So this Lumo18 is running a pretty conservative tune. The PIDs are sensible, they're not aggressive, and it's quite heavily filtered, with the RPM filtering doing a lot of the work. And that all points to a quad that feels stable and predictable, rather than a super sharp or locked in type of flight. And that's how it feels to me in the 5 or 6 packs that I've flown on this. And it also means it's tuned for clean, easy flying, especially indoors or for cruising, rather than hard freestyle or racing. As you've seen, I've already adjusted the throttle expo, and honestly that's made a noticeable difference to how usable it feels in normal flying. And if you want to know more about that, I've linked my throttle profiling video in the description below. But if you did want to tweak it further, I wouldn't jump straight into changing the PIDs. I'd look at slightly reducing the filtering for a bit more responsiveness, and maybe adding a touch more feed forward to sharpen up the stick response without changing its overall character. But for what it is, the stock tune is actually safe and sensible. It's just leaning more towards stability than outright performance. So overall, I mean, this is great. It's just a really enjoyable quad to fly. Simple as that. One thing to mention though, if you run a lower camera angle, you will start to see the ducts creeping into the shot. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to be aware of depending on how you like to set things up. And if you use 4:3 aspect ratio in the goggles, you'll definitely see them when the camera angle's low. But if you stabilise your footage with gyro flow and export it as 16:9, it'll crop the ducts out of shot. And this ultra wide setup on here, it works really nicely. It gives you a great sense of speed and space, and for cruising footage in particular, it actually looks really good. And there's no jello. So what is this? Well, for me, it's a smooth outdoor cruiser, but it's not just for beginners. It works well indoors and outdoors, and while it's very easy to fly straight out of the box, there's definitely some headroom here if you want to push it further. With a bit of tuning, you could make it feel more responsive and a bit quicker if that's what you want to do. But out of the box though, it's smooth, it's predictable, and it's easy to fly well, which what makes it basically great for cruising and exploring. And at the price point, it's actually very good value for money for what you're getting. Basically, it's not hard to enjoy it, and it does stand out from the rest of the Whoop crowd. But do let me know in the comments what you think about this. I genuinely love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this useful, a like and a subscribe really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.